Brian. David Moore, Dallas.
Hi, David.
When you look on yesterday's game, just the overriding issue or issues you weren't able to accomplish offensively that made it the sort of game that it was?
Well, I think overall, we're disappointed how we played, how we coached. You got to give them some credit. It's a good defense. We started slow. I think that's an area that we try to take a lot of pride in, moving the football early and going down and getting some points. And we've done that some this year when we've taken the ball. And really, when you watch the film, the one area that jumps out that we were not as good at that we've been recently was third down. I think we had 12 third and fourth downs. I think actually 8 of them are what we would call third and manageable, 6 or less. And we only converted, 4. And that's not our standard. That's not what we've been. And so when you do that, and then you look back and you see the time of possession, that's kind of where, the slow start, the inability to kind of get into a rhythm, get the drive going, that's one of the areas. But overall, we didn't play very well, and we need to be better. And got to get the guys better tools as a staff. And but again, you got to give them some credit too. They played well, and unfortunately, we weren't able to make enough plays to swing the thing and get the momentum going. I really felt after the long drive to get points to Terp. We hit Terp. I thought we'd get a chance to get going, and then we got another shot for 2 minutes and just couldn't get anything going in that 2-minute drive at the end of the first half. But a lot of really good lessons to learn from, and we'll go through it and make the corrections because there's certainly a lot of those to do. And I really believe you can learn a lot from games like this. I was sharing with the staff earlier, I was part of a team 2010 with the Jets. Played the Patriots on a Monday night in Foxborough, and we lost 45-3. A game that, when you kind of look back on it, felt a little bit like this game. We didn't play well as a team, and just couldn't get anything going. And the nature of the beast is you end up facing them about 7 weeks later in the divisional round, and we beat them 28-14. So that's his business. That's his league, and we know this is a team that to get where we want to go, going to have to play them again. And a good football team, a lot of respect for them. But I think that just kind of shows the storyline of this business is you play a team like this, you play in these big games, and you don't perform very well. You can learn from it and grow, and expect you'll get a chance to see them again.
With what you were saying, Joe, I think you had only 6 offensive snaps, maybe 7 in the first quarter. When that happens as an offense, is it tough not to kind of feel you're chasing the whole game to kind of?
I wouldn't say you're chasing, just the rhythm's not there. Like when we've been, I think, again, I don't know the numbers, you guys can get access to them, but we've had more drives, I think at 10 plays or more than anybody in the league, and we kind of flourish in those situations because the ball gets distributed around, right? We get the ball spread to all the different people, we get the run game going, Dak gets into a flow a little bit. So you're never chasing plays. I mean, hell, we'd like to have some, 1- and 2-play touchdown drives. We hit big plays, and but again, I would say just the word that we never found our rhythm offensively yesterday. And again, some of that was, us not doing things we need to do, but some of it was, they did a nice job.
How just does Dak's play? I mean, the first third down, or the opening throw of the game, he missed the tight end.
Yeah.
And obviously, it was a big third down. We threw short to the tight end.
Fergie.
I don't know if you wanted him to go through the sticks or what do you do? And obviously, there was late in the first half, he had a shot to Cooks that just went out of bounds. How did he play? What were they doing to take him away?
Well, again, I think, talked about a little bit the rhythm. Again, the first throw of the game was a little bit high to Scooney. Again, can tighten up his hitch there a little bit, but it sailed on him a little bit. Again, a play that at some point maybe Scooney makes, again, as he grows. We took a shot down the boundary to MG. They came in and they played us a bunch of press man-to-man, and so we took a shot down there to MG, down the boundary, and wasn't, a whole lot of separation there. I think overall, notwithstanding the interceptions that happened late, he was solid. Nobody played great. Nobody coached great. Certainly not to our standard, but the score kind of got out of hand a little bit, and you know, we understand that, again, our job is to score points. Our job is to take care of the football, and because of that, we're all responsible, because we certainly didn't do a good job of that with the fumble early, backed up. You know, Fred Warner comes around, makes a great play, punches it out, put the defense in a really tough spot there. That can't happen. And then the turnovers late in the game, just that's not who we are.
Was he pressing late? I mean, I don't know if.
I don't think so. I think, you know, he's a competitor. Again, the first interception, you know, there's a little bit of leakage from the protection standpoint, so he has to throw the ball a little earlier than maybe he wanted to. You know, and, you know, the next one was kind of a bang-bang play on a slant, and then he never saw the guy on the last one. But to say he was pressing, I don't think so. Talking to him on the sidelines, he was in a good spot. We were all, I would say, you know, anticipating when we were going to have a chance to find our rhythm, and hey, what's going to be the play that kind of sparks us and gets us going. But I would definitely say, having sat with a lot of quarterbacks over the years, he was not in a mindset where, oh, I got to go make a play to help us win this game. That was not where he was wired.
Brian Schottenheimer with ESPN. Could you tell CD's unhappiness during the game?
You know, I think, you know, the thing about CD is you feel his emotion, you feel his competitiveness. Obviously a great player. I don't think anybody was, you know, real happy in that game. So I think I've shared with you guys before, you know, some of the best players in the game, certainly the skilled players, you know, you feel them. You feel when they want to help. That's what they're trying to do. They want to help. They want to make a play. So we knew that you know, he was anxious to try to do things and make plays, and those are the things you just kind of try to talk through and talk about. And hey, it's coming. You know, we just got to get ops. But felt it, but really it wasn't just CD. I mean, we felt it on the sidelines with us as a staff, looking for answers, looking for solutions. And what tends to happen is you look back on those games and you're like, okay, there were a few plays there that, you know, hey, we maybe missed a play here, an opportunity there. But you know, our job is to make sure we get CD going. He's a great player, one of the best I've ever been around. Just his ability to create separation, to create, you know, with the ball in his hands after the catch. And so that's certainly something that we'll look at this week. But I would not want to have a lot of players that were happy after that game and during that game, because we weren't doing what we should have been doing.
Sajis of The Athletic. Brian, kind of a two-part question. The first 4 drives, three and outs and the fumble. How quickly did you have to toss the script to begin the game? And you were already down 14-0 by the time you got your first down. Did that change the script, and how many plays deep you go in and all that kind of stuff? Yeah,
you try to stay on the script. It's a great question. You try to stay on the script, and we did early on. You know, we did have some what we call backed up field position where they punt us back. We were down there a couple times, one on the punt, and then when the defense caused the turnover. But I think we stayed on script pretty good. You know, you try to not overthink it. You try not to. Now they did play some more man-to-man. They came up and challenged us a little bit more. So, again, we were trying to get some crossing routes and things like that. That was probably the biggest adjustment. But in terms of the overall run game, we tried to stick to the script because from a defensive standpoint, they don't do a whole lot from a front structure. But the man-to-man was something that they had more success against us than I thought that they would.
Nick Harris, DallasCowboys.com. Obviously, there's pros and cons to every offensive system. When we're talking to Dak and the playmakers of the offseason, it was about simplifying things pre and post snap. But do you feel like that can kind of be a catalyst towards forcing things whenever you're trying to claw back into games at times?
I don't think so. I think every play is different. Again, we've got the ability to spread the ball around with good players. We've got plenty of play types. We've got QB movements. We've got action passes. We've got screens. I mean, I think you saw a handful of things that we did yesterday that were good. We hit the screen to Tony late. I don't think so. I think our players play pretty free. I mean, I think you look at the first, what has it been, you know, first few games. I mean, you know, when you're winning, it's easy. And when you're struggling to move the football and you're not getting the ops that you're used to, that's where you kind of got to, you know, just, hey, take a deep breath. Hey, ebb and flow of the game. How's it going to play out? I thought our guys were great at halftime. There wasn't a whole lot of panic in their voice. We came out in the second half, put together a nice drive, went and got points. So I think, you know, again, it's one of those situations where our players should play pretty free. but we also have to respond to adversity, because there's going to be adversity. And it might be this week, it might be next week, it might be the week after that, but adversity is part of this game. It's a very humbling business. And, you think you're, on top of the world, you think you're playing great, and you play an opponent, whether they're the best defense in the league or the 32nd ranked defense in the league, and they can humble you. And, again, we try to approach it no different based on who you're playing.
Mike McGuffey, Dallas Morning News. One time when you guys were backed up, you tried for Gallup down the right boundary, incomplete. Was there a potential spark opportunity there where he'd be able to draw a little contact, work his way back to the ball, and potentially get a pass interference in that situation? Or did you see that sort of opportunity when you look back at that play?
Yeah, I mean, I like the call that Mike made. I think Dak liked the call. We were expecting one high, which they played. They tried to play a little bit more passive on the outside, but I thought MG did a good job kind of, getting on top of the guy a little bit, and the guy actually made a really good play. But I do like the call. That was a defense that when you're backed up like that, they fire their linebackers a lot, so we kind of felt like, hey, we got to take care of the edges, get a hat on both, which we did. We moved the tight end over there and hit him. But, of course, a play like that would ignite momentum. And there just wasn't enough of those plays, Michael, quite honestly, where we didn't do enough good things that sparked that momentum. And really outside the play to Terp, for the touchdown on the corner route, there wasn't a lot of plays that jumped out on film where, again, we gave ourselves that spark that maybe would have helped us go on and perform a little bit better.
Okay. Calvin Watkins, Dallas Morning News.
Hey, Calvin.
Obviously, you pointed out Dak's interceptions and some missed throws, but you also said he was solid. The fan base, they hear that, they go, where was he solid at, considering how you lost last night? Sure.
Well, again, when you say he's solid, you're looking at the entire game. You watch the touchdown pass to Cavante, right? We're getting edged a little bit. He gets hit. He stands in, makes a great throw. The pace operation, all that stuff was really good. Again, is anybody pleased with how we performed? No. Am I pleased how I coach? No. Is he pleased with how he played? No. Do we know we can't turn the ball over? But it was a solid performance. Can he play better? Will he play better? Yes. Can I coach better? Will I coach better? Yes, for sure. And we have the right type of guys in this locker room. We have the right type of guys on this staff that can take these lumps. And when you get beat like we did, look at it, learn from it, address it. We're not going to sugarcoat this stuff. We're not going to cover this stuff up and be like, hey, guys, hey, yeah, okay, hey, let's just move on to the next opponent. We're not wired like that. You point out the good, you point out the bad every week. And unfortunately this week there was a lot more bad than good. But, again, our guys, especially Dak, are wired the right way. This is not going to change him. And we'll get right back to work after we watch this and get ready to play another really good opponent out there in California and bounce back.
Babe Loffmer, Cowboys Radio. Brian, I know it was a point in the game where you weren't going to be hitting 2-yard checkdowns, but your max protect, you go to Brandon up the left side. Was that designed to be inside? I mean, he's inside the numbers there, got an inside release. It makes it easy, obviously, for the safety to move over. So just to structure that.
You talking about the first interception? Or the one that was completed out of bounds? Yeah.
Interception. Yes.
The interception, yeah. So, again, what we were trying to do, we were trying to get Brandon match up on the corner. We were trying to move the safety to get the safety to leave the middle of the field. And we kind of knew there was a point on the field that we wanted to place the ball, and the ball had to get up a little bit faster than we wanted it to. And so we left it inside, which gave the safety the ability to get over there and make the play. But it was a design shot. And, again, obviously didn't work out the way that we wanted to. But as you guys know, I mean, again, there's a lot goes into making decisions back there. You've stood back there, you get that. But, again, overall we need to be better. He can't just launch a ball down the middle of the field. He's got a responsibility where he's supposed to place the football. We know that. But certainly we can protect. And, again, I think he had a guy coming off the edge, and then the three technique was looping inside that forced him to get it up maybe a hair quicker and not be able to move the safety as much as we wanted to.
Todd.
You said the Niners had more success playing man than you thought. Do you anticipate seeing more of that going forward?
Of course. Yeah, of course, absolutely. It's a copycat league. Everybody looks around and they see it. But again, I think that our guys have the ability to certainly beat man-to-man at a high level. And once you put that on film, which I think we will, then we won't see it for a while. And again, after we hit Turp, they did adjust, and he went back to more zone. So we hit Turpin on the touchdown. We're in a little bunch set, switch release, got Turp free. And again, it's a constant game of cat and mouth. So he went back to zone there for a while. But, again, give them credit. They did some good things against us. And, I would expect that we'll definitely see some more man-to-man.
On the deep ball to Brandon that was caught but out of bounds, does momentum take Dak in that throw?
Yeah, it's a hard throw. He's off the spot. He's moving to his left. It's a freaking launch of a throw. And running hard to your left, he's trying to flip his hips because he has to throw it so far. And just the momentum took it out of bounds and missed it by, a couple feet.
Patrick.
Hey, Brian. Patrick Walker, DallasCowboys.com. Kind of keeping to Brandon Cooks and just that variable in your offense. The point that Todd made as far as the deep crosser, I mean, you got a great advantage there because you had Fred Warner, although he's Fred Warner, still a linebacker trailing Brandon Cooks. So there are times in the 4 games you've had Cooks on the field where you see him getting separation, you're getting him schemed up well. But from a coaching standpoint, is there anything readily identifiable as far as why he's not been able to kind of explode yet in your offense?
Yeah, again, I can't put my finger on just one thing. I think we're definitely getting into a rhythm with him. I think Dak in here finding a rhythm. We want to get him touches. Like I think we got the ball on the perimeter with him with the run. Like we're learning Brandon. He's a new piece that we're excited about, and we're close. We're close on the play that Babe was talking about that's out of bounds, or the ball gets pushed a little bit wide. We're learning his speed. We're learning the way that he can affect the game with and without the ball. And again, just like we talked about with MG, it comes in bunches, And again, limited ops yesterday certainly hurt us, and we caused those limited ops because we couldn't, we didn't do a good enough job on third down. But when you've got the 33, 34 minutes time of possession, which is what we've been averaging, then the ball gets distributed around to more and more people. Unfortunately, in this game, it didn't play out that way. And but Brandon's a guy that his speed, his athleticism, his demeanor is awesome. He's just great communicator, comes over, gives us great feedback on how they're playing and what they're doing. So that, from a coaching standpoint, is, you really do appreciate that. Because, again, bottom line is, we see it, but those guys feel it. The players feel it. Like, they know what's going on, and they've got the best sense of how they're being played. And he's awesome. When he comes over and gives you feedback and then you go look at it on the Microsoft Surface, it usually is dead on.
You use the extra day this week to reflect and evaluate, or to look ahead?
No, absolutely, yeah. I mean, like I said, I've probably seen the game from last night probably 5 or 6 times. Again, look forward to getting a chance to, get it cleaned up and emphasize that. We always start with ourselves first. And, hey, what do we need to do better? Okay, let's look at the third downs. Hey, let's look at the self-inflicted wounds. Let's look at the turnovers. Like I said, we're not going to shy away from any of that. Just like, when you win games, you don't just, fast ahead. You point out the successes, you point out the failures, and, we will spend a good deal of time on this film because it's important, and it's not the standard. And if you don't make those corrections and you don't have those open dialogues with the guys about what we can do better offensively, what we can do better as a staff, and get that feedback from each other, then, you're destined to kind of repeat that. So we'll spend a bunch of time on it, and then the extra day does help with that because you can spend more time on the game. And then once we're done doing that, we'll put it to bed and get ready for the Chargers.
Michael.
You finally had an opportunity to get your offensive line together. That was Tyler Smith and Tyron Smith, first chance to work side by side in a game. It's one thing to have practice reps together, another to have game. How do you feel that where that is and where it has potential to grow?
Well, it was great, number one, to see them all out there together. That's for sure. Again, I don't think that many plays is a test of where they can do. I thought they played well in some regards. Other areas not so well. Nobody should feel great about the way we played, but it was nice to see those guys out there. I thought they all flashed certain things, like a couple bull rushes that they brought on Tyring, and you can see him kind of, they get into his chest a little bit, and you watch him, he kind of traps them. So they're bull rushing him, they're knocking him back. They get his hands inside, and just he's so big and strong, he kind of traps him and knocks him off. But again, those guys being back and working is huge for us because there is a nonverbal language that goes into what they have to do, passing off games and communicating things. And, you know, the negative is practice doesn't feel quite as fast as the game sometimes. So the more and more reps we can get them in the games will be great.
Babe, I laughed about the Tyring thing. I don't know if I've ever seen anybody better. Just
it's really impressive. Yeah, you guys should watch it. It's something that young players don't do. They don't have the experience of it. So, like I was explaining, you know, you set these guys and they feel the set, so it's called speed to power. So they transition from a speed rush, and they're like, okay, he's soft setting me. Let me go to my power move, and they put their hands on their chest. And sometimes we end up getting a little wide. So one response you have as a tackle is you trap them. You knock their hands off, and their momentum makes him fall to the ground. He did it 2 or 3 times in the game, and it's just a cool skill set that he's acquired over the years that, again, defensive linemen see that, and they're a little bit apprehensive about going speed to power. So it's cool technique.
On the Cooks, talking about feedback and the good feedback he gives you, is it an ongoing process for you to figure out these guys' personalities? Because as you know, they all come over, I'm killing my guy, and then you have the film and they really weren't killing the guy.
Yeah, for sure. Again, like I said, they're all competitors. You love that. There are some guys that say, oh, yeah, I was wide open. And you look at it, you're like, right here? Right here? Well, yeah, no, it's a bad angle. You know, like, yeah, it's earlier, before that. Go back.
Are you learning about who you
yeah, I am. But, you know, again, he does a great job. And real poised. You know, you just watch him. He's real poised, and he gives great feedback. But, yeah, that's part of the puzzle is learning the guys. And we all know they want the ball, but there's some guys that give you a little bit more accurate assessment of what happened out there on the field.
Alrighty, thank you, Brian.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.